They probably do. Okay, boys, let's do it. Are we going straight down?
Training. The safe word is run.
The theft of the monolith was a kind of unexpected twist to this story. Many people immediately began speculating, did whoever put it there remove it? Well, it turns out, no. Andy L. Lewis took credit. From local Moab, Utah, he's a high-altitude stuntman and base jumper. With his friend Sylvan Christensen and 2 other unknown people, they say they were protecting the area, an area that was not prepared for the population shift caused by the popularity of the monolith. So aliens did not take back their property, and neither did the artist. No, instead, these 4 people took it upon themselves to go in and remove it. They say they were protecting the land, but maybe they had other motives. Mr. Lewis says he was protecting the land, but this is a man that a few years ago was prosecuted. He was accused of impeding an investigation following base jumping being banned in the area. Base jumping at the time was feared to be harming owl populations. Protecting the land seems to be quite a new motivation for Mr. Lewis. Or maybe he's just a selfish guy that wants to protect the area for himself. Either way, they destroyed quite a beautiful piece of artwork, and perhaps a piece of work that was there for another reason, not just for its beauty. In another twist, experts that initially came out and said this piece was probably the work of John McCracken have now come out, after further investigation, have now decided that it isn't one of his pieces of work. So, what does that leave? Who really built this monolith, and why? I'll tell you my theory at the end, but I really couldn't do a final video on this obelisk, and this really will be the final video, we will never speak of it again, without mentioning the discovery in Romania. Now this again is obviously man-made. You can see how it's formed and how it's worked. You can very clearly see the welding, not particularly good welding if I'm 100% honest. But again, look at this location. This is insanely beautiful and will be a place of pilgrimage for many years. I can see people hike into this site to enjoy this magnificent area. So what do I really think of these guys that took it upon themselves to destroy this piece of art? To be honest, I think they're incredibly selfish. I think they're vandals, and I think, if possible, they should be prosecuted. It really is a shame that they decided upon themselves to destroy something of such beauty. And what about the alien connection? Well, I'm not going to argue that this is an alien artifact like some people still are. This is a man-made object. But obelisks and structures like this have been used to focus psychic energy. I want to raise the possibility that this was never intended to be a piece of artwork. Maybe these sites were built by somebody to enhance their attempts to contact ET. Perhaps these are a focal point for their psychic energy in their hopes to one day talk to aliens. Perhaps somebody using Stephen Greer's teachings to try and attempt to communicate with aliens, this close encounter of the 5th kind. Now when it comes to psychic powers and these attempts to talk to aliens with our minds, I'm not 100% certain what I believe. But what I do know is there are very strange things in the world. Truth is often far stranger than fiction. And I cannot honestly put my hand on my heart and say that psychically talking to aliens isn't possible. It may well be. So maybe that's why this structure's there. Regardless of why it was put there in the first place, the destruction of the Utah monolith is a real shame. I'd have loved to have hiked there and spent the night camping, but it's not to be.